Hey guys, Danny here from Infiniti of Mission Viejo. In lieu of the launch of the Infiniti JX getting ready to come out in the beginning of April, thought it'd be a good idea to show you some of the competitors to the JX and some of the vehicles that you might be comparing it with. Today we're going to take a look at the Audi Q7, kind of show you some of the features that it has and how that compares to the JX. Okay, so from here I wanted to show you guys the second row seating in the Q7 and how it compares to the JX. Okay, one way that you would want to get into the third row here from the second row is just by pulling up on this lever here, and the seat actually slides, which is nice. It's similar to the JX. You'll see that's as far up as it goes, and you can see that there's not very much room at all to get into the third row. It'd be hard for an adult to try to get back there. And then once you're back there, you can see the leg room is very tight back there. It's very cramped space. And then getting out, one thing you'll notice is that the rails here are exposed off of the carpet. So it'd be very easy to trip and fall, hurt yourself. So that might be a hazard you want to watch out for. Also, with the JX, you can actually have a car seat in the chair and still be able to have access to the third row. That's something that we can't do here with the Q7. You'd have to actually take the car seat out completely just in order to get to the third row.
The Infiniti JX features a third row seat that is easily accessible with plenty of space for movement. Covered rails eliminate tripping hazards. The second row seats fold forward to ensure easy access and exit, even when equipped with a child seat.
So now that we're at the back here, I wanted to show you guys the lift gate and the trunk area back into the third row seats. But as long as we're back here, I wanted to show you the parking sensors here. And with the JX, also it has a backup collision intervention system. So if you're backing up and there's something behind you, the car will actually apply the brakes and come to a complete stop for you, even before you might see that there's something behind you.
So we've all been parked next to an obstacle that makes backing out of a spot a challenge. With the optional backup collision intervention system, your JX watches for cars and people crossing behind you. The JX will alert you and even apply the brakes to prevent you from colliding with the crossing object. Furthermore, the Infiniti Around View monitor provides a 360-degree bird's-eye view of the JX on the navigation screen, making parallel parking an absolute breeze.
Now back here, the third row seats, one thing that I found was interesting was once you fold the seat down from back here in the tailgate area, there's no way to pull the seat back up from back here. You'd have to get into the second row, you'd have to move the seat forward, and then you'd have to flip the third seat back up. Now if you had a car seat on either side or on both sides, you'd have to remove the car seat just to get the chair out of the way, just to get into the third row and flip the seat back up, which might be kind of a hassle depending on if you got kids running around, grocery bags, shopping bags all over the place.
The third row seats can be folded down from behind the JX just as easily as they can be folded back up by pulling on the recovery strap shown here. In addition to the cargo area folding completely flat, the JX adds an extra storage compartment underneath the rear deck, handy for muddy shoes and loose items.
The key. It is a keyless entry system similar to the Infiniti JX. So you can get into the door just by pushing the button. It's sensing the key. Now when you're inside, there's a couple of different options. I mean, you can use the blade key here or the start button here. With the Infiniti key, I mean, you never even have to take the key out of your pocket. You don't have to worry about using the blade to start it. You would just have to push the button to start it up. Also, the driver's memory system on the JX, you can sync to your key. So as soon as you were to unlock the car with your key, it would sync all your memory settings. And one thing, and a lot of the things you can do with the memory settings are you can set your steering wheel, your seats, your outside mirrors. Also, you can set your climate control settings, your radio settings, all to your key. So as soon as you unlock the key, everything's going to go to right where you have it set.
The intelligent key system on the JX memorizes your seat setup, climate control, and audio settings, and does all of this wirelessly without ever having to remove it from your pocket, purse, or briefcase. Since every JX comes with 2 intelligent keys, 2 driver households enjoy the benefit of customized driving environments for each driver. Optional for the JX is the remote start button shown above the locking button. which lets you securely start the JX from a distance so as to warm up the engine and give the climate control system a head start, especially on hot summer days.
Okay. One thing I wanted to point out too, the screen here in the Q7 is not a touch screen. All your controls are down here for the screen. On the Infiniti, you have the option of using the touch screen or having your manual controls here. With the navigation system, I wanted to point out to you that with the new Infiniti Personal Assistant and the Infiniti Connect system that's implemented on the JX, you can actually call a live person through the Infiniti Connect system, ask them for directions to a point of interest or an address, and they will actually send that information to your navigation system automatically without you even having to do anything, inputting it in anywhere. Now the Q7 has some safety features that are similar to the JX as far as warning systems, things like your blind spot warning. Something's in your blind spot, it'll actually warn you and detect you to let you know, like, hey, something's in your blind spot, you know, you should be a little careful. The JX actually takes it a step further and uses a couple of intervention systems. So if you still try to get into your lane with something in your blind spot, it'll start beeping at you, warning you, and it'll actually apply the brakes on the opposite side of the car if it senses that you might get into an accident. It'll apply the brakes on the opposite side of the car to steer you back into the center of your lane. Also, the lane departure intervention system works similarly. If it senses that you're veering out of your lane, it'll apply the brakes on the opposite side of the vehicle to steer you back into the center of your lane if you happen to be dozing off late at night or what have you. Also, the JX has a system called the Distance Control Assist. If you're driving along the road, you happen to be on your cell phone or you're doing something on the navigation or whatnot, and you're coming up to a red light, you don't notice that the car is stopped in front of you. You're not paying attention for whatever reason. The JX will actually hit the brakes for you and come to a complete stop before you make contact with that car. So it's watching out for you. There's a lot of safety intervention systems that are not on a lot of vehicles out there.
The JX anticipates the need to apply emergency braking, and as needed will pre-pressurize the braking system to improve braking response when you need it most. If a collision is unavoidable, the system warns the driver of the risk and automatically applies the brakes to either slow down or completely stop the JX to avoid collision.
Alright guys, I want to thank you for joining me and letting me walk you around the Q7 a little bit. If you'd like to come and take a look at the JX, I'd love to show it to you. Here at Infiniti of Mission Viejo, we want you to make the most informed decision possible when it comes to buying a new vehicle, and I hope this video allows you to do that a little bit. Thanks.